Chain Reactor spitting fire. The NFT analyzer. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your meme coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 wizards.
Good morning, Mega GMs. Happy Thursday, guys. It's April 3rd. April 3rd. Holy cow. Dude, the year's a quarter over already. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Murray, good morning. Mike, good morning. E-Rock GMs, man. I am tempted to try. I'm tempted to try it live. I don't think I am right now, but dude, tempted. Maybe we save it for a special afternoon show, which I'm definitely trying to get locked in here. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Afternoon show returns hopefully soon. Guys, smash the like on the show wherever you're watching. Maybe it's over on Abstract. Maybe you're on X. Probably on YouTube. But wherever you're watching, hit the like. That thumbs up helps a ton, by the way. Algo loves it. Thumbs up out of anything, man. If you don't subscribe, if you're not dropping any of that stuff, like the like helps a ton. So definitely hit that here, guys. And you should subscribe over here, CryptoSlam, over on YouTube. Go back if you missed yesterday, the afternoon, our Swarm Report show. Really cool. Really, really cool show yesterday, chatting with the OpenServe team. Co-founder and CTO. I like that product a lot. I like it. I like guys who aren't pigeonholing themselves into like a single thing. It's not an agent, right? It's not a framework. It's not one specific thing. It's a broader ecosystem. In their case, an aggregator for all kinds of AI products. But they've got these dashboards coming out on Dash.fun, and that's coming out this month. I will be using that absolutely. Curious like the fees, the cost to use them, but building your own custom dashboard to follow content creators you like, or analysts, alpha, TA guys. So these customized dashboards to follow the people and the topics you like, dude, I'm all about that. And so I picture that interface, the topics, the headlines I'm trying to keep plugged into, along with following NFT projects and tokens that I'm trying to stay on top of as well. That's where we're going. Very customized news experiences. Can't wait. They're building that. So check out yesterday's episode to hear from them about what it is they're building. It's a fun show. Follow us on X. It's CryptoSlam.io. Of course, follow SlamAI_XYZ. All those things coming. ACP really close. And so for ACP especially, make sure you follow the Swarm_AI, where we stream the afternoon show, by the way, the Swarm Report. But yeah, ACP from Virtual is coming really, really soon. I'm expecting them to have some announcements very soon, which means we will have some announcements very soon. So stay tuned and definitely stay plugged in right over there on the Swarm. And lastly, you can follow me at Huda_idiot over on X. I don't think I saw a more perfect tweet, more perfect way to sum up what's going on out there in the world. Yesterday was the day. Yesterday was Liberation Day. And like we say all the time here, nobody knows anything. This might be a little different. I do think there's people who might have a really good idea of what's going on and what's the fallout from these massive tariffs that did end up happening, right? There was a chance that the Liberation Day Donald Trump tariffs against the whole world maybe didn't materialize. Maybe it was just talk and posturing and trying to get other countries to lessen the tariffs levied against our exports. To a degree, it is that. And already to a degree, it has played out that way. But no, the announcement was as drastic, as severe as people were worried about. Tariffs levied against actually every country, 10% baseline, and then individual countries even higher. Now, it wasn't a one-to-one match as far as if they're taxing us a certain percent. We didn't match it number to number. Instead, it was half. It was about half. I'll tell you this, man. Yeah, Abdullah, dude, so Henry and I chatted yesterday, and we were talking about needing to play that side of the market more. I never short stuff, but you're missing out on a whole other time of the market to be able to trade and make money. And I see some people talk about this as the easiest money you can make in generational wealth. Like, this market is going one direction. That's what people assume. We'll see. But hey, dude, perfect fucking tweet here from Kobe this morning. Tweets out the Phantom Menace crawl, right? Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute. It's we're living in a movie. We are. Fucking beautiful tweet. In fact, I got to send that to somebody. It's so good. It's so good. But here you go. A look at Tariffs here. Can I zoom in more? You've probably seen it at this point already, but it's pretty extreme, guys. 34% against China. It was actually leveled up to 54% after his speech, after Donald Trump spoke and announced these tariffs. So it's now 52 or 54%. The EU 20%, Vietnam 46%. It's across the board drastic. Cambodia and I think Vietnam got hammered. Because this is where producers fled to after tariffs really against China in the past. And so they moved their operations there to kind of get around those tariffs. Then not anymore. Yeah, nobody knows, guys, exactly how this will play out. Like I said, some people have a good idea. You've got these macro economic guys. And those are people I really want to start paying attention to and listening to because we're in uncharted territory. And so those guys who really understand the economy, again, I need to pay extra attention to them. It's not crypto bros I trust right now. And crypto, look, it's speculative, yes. But if we think Bitcoin is digital gold, this is when it's kind of time to put up or shut up, right? This is kind of that time that you hope Bitcoin fulfills its destiny here and becomes that. But hey, after these tariffs were announced, you're looking at S&P 500 futures, $2 trillion. Poof. Market opens up here in 15 minutes, by the way. And we'll see what happens. Do we have an extreme sell-off here? Do we see possibly even like the market halted? Is that what we're in store for this morning? Nobody knows. But that's what I'm watching for. That's the kind of thing I'm fearful. It's not even the right word. Not fearful. Obviously, we have days or weeks of extreme volatility. The other side of it, different story. It's a matter of like how far off that is. Man, I would love to dive into this a bit deeper here. Probably won't today. Maybe we will. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of a light day of news out there, right? I mean, it's a lot of people just sitting on their hands here. Maybe we come back to that. But again, already maybe the what's up, Plastocytes? Dude, it's wild. But this is the real reason for the tariffs. It is. Yes, it's to maybe, in theory, bring jobs to America, have production here in the States. Man, that feels like a long play to have people move to the States and build factories and build whatever, right? Like, that's not a now thing. That's what has me worried, at least in the short term. But this is really what leads to a special time here. Canada's saying they'll remove tariffs if the U.S. does. That's the goal. That, to me, is the real reason, the real purpose for levying these tariffs. That's it. And you might actually see that play out. Happening to Canada. By the way, Canada and Mexico, tariffs levied against them are on pause for right now, right? So they were kind of excluded from the list yesterday. We already have some numbers, 25% that was thrown out for these two. But again, it's kind of on pause with them. And because of reasons like this, they're further along in their dialogue. Abdullah, for Bitcoin to become digital gold, needs to become independent and not follow stock trends. Jack Dorsey, I hope I saved it, but Jack Dorsey had a comment on Bitcoin as well. Actually saying for Bitcoin to remain relevant, it needs to not be gold. It actually needs to be used for payments. I don't know if I agree. One of those things I could probably argue both sides. Probably both sides, but I actually think it speaks to why OpCat is so important for Bitcoin. You have to make, you need Bitcoin to have some more utility. So we will see. Look, not an expert, obviously, but this is where I lean. Here's Becker, also not an expert. We know this. Do things people are completely overreacting to tariffs? Maybe. It's pretty extreme, guys. Somebody threw an example of what kind of what the costs are going to look like here for us. Nintendo Switch 2 announced yesterday, and the example is Switch costs $450 plus tariffs. Excuse me, plus tariffs, you're looking at $650, right? You know what I mean? Like, just so people can wrap their head around these price increases, how massive they are. But this is it. We're heading into the most explosive tech boom and human productivity increase in history. I believe this. With rates coming down and record tax cuts. We'll see what of that materializes. But this is what I'm betting on. This tech boom, investments in AI, investments in crypto here in the States, and then AI leading to this incredible increase in productivity. I'm betting on that. And it's why I remain so bullish on this market here. Money will be free and cheap again with speculation sky high. Again, I agree. It's hard for me to be, concerned in the short term again, yeah. But worried, fearful, any of that stuff. Look, I got kids. Make no mistake, it's something I'm thinking about in what that real impact is, and there will be an impact, but I already see down the road what it looks like, and I'm very optimistic about it. We'll let the experts debate this out. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's actually really fun on the timeline right now. And like weeks back, we talked about opposite takes about the crypto market, where we're going, bull market, bear market, what's good, right? You couldn't have people on more extreme opposite sides here. Again, some people like me, like baby Becker, not experts, but thinking that we've got some really exciting times coming, and others saying this is setting us up for a huge failure. Huge failure. Oh, man. Christian, wow. Christian, what I think you've shared before, but what's your general thoughts? Short-term, medium-term, long-term? Christian, one of those guys who's takes I value here. But again, these guys are going to battle it out, and this is what we need. We just need more conversation around this so we understand it a little more. But here's Anthony Pompliano looking to debate people. And he's arguing that tariffs are really good, and we're already seeing a benefit from them now. And if you look at what Canada announced, that they'll remove tariffs if we do, that's the benefit. Long term, again, maybe it's more jobs here. But the other side of it, guys argue that it's not going to work out the way we're thinking. It doesn't do what, maybe the Trump administration thinks it's going to do. And I think there's people in the Trump administration who don't even agree with it, but you have to go along with it. Plasticites, you've been distracting yourself from crypto and NFTs with World of Warcraft. Hey, there you go, dude. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I've found a little distraction too. It happens to be AI. I mentioned yesterday, guys, I'm working on the 5-minute videos again, and I'm throwing it at AI and seeing if it can edit, and I'm just literally chasing my tail with that right now. ChatGPT is a liar. I won't get into it all right now, but it tells you it can do things. So you keep prompting and prompting and prompting to get it to do that. And it turns out after hours of trying different versions of the same prompt, right? It can't do the things it says. Like basically here, it tells you it can edit a video, chop down a 20-minute video to 5 minutes and cut out pauses and bad takes. And it says it has it done. It can never send you the video file. So if it can actually edit, and I'm not sure it can't send you the file. And it tried, ChatGPT tried to send it in Google Drive. It tried sending it in Dropbox. And then it walked me through like Google Colab. I think that's using Gemini. And it gives you code you can actually run to eliminate silence. It's interesting, but in the end, it shows you how these AI models, they're predictive. They predict what the right response should be, even if it doesn't have that functionality. This is where something like Mira or like the guys at OpenServe are building these things that eliminate the machine hallucinations or minimize them. Anyway, that's besides the point. That was just a little local show update. But again, Spencer Hakamian, he does not think this works. Not the way we're hoping for. Not the people who think this is potentially bullish. Not the way we're thinking about it. Christian, your thoughts changed after the announcement. Didn't expect tariffs to be that drastic. Interesting. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You know, Christian, I wonder if the reason we have to sit and wait and watch is to see how big money, institutional investors, how are they playing this? Because you think you might think they know a little more than we do, right? That's kind of what I'm waiting to hear is other, investors, them talking about it, and then just seeing what the market does. Base case right now is a recession in the short term. Kickstart the money printer, send markets up. I think I'd be okay with that. Now this I definitely want to come back to, right? I want to get to the market. I want to get to the NFT updates, but I want to come back to this, guys. This is breaking down how the tariffs work. In theory, what it can do for us. This is a pretty comprehensive breakdown, so I want to come back to that. So hang on, if you're interested in the tariff talk, hold on for 15-ish minutes. Let's get through the crypto market and see how it's impacting us. And I got to say this, so far right now, not that bad on the crypto side. That said, it probably changes this morning. We'll see. But even immediately after tariffs announced, down a couple percent, not crazy. You see Bitcoin at 81.8. Do we fall into the 70s today? Yeah, probably. Probably a really easy opportunity right here, shorting all the majors. It feels like easy, like free money here. Hard to picture anybody betting on crypto right here. Again, in the short term, hard to not see Bitcoin down in the 70s, and I don't know what our support level is there. Upper 70s, mid 70s. I don't know. And could we fall into the 60s somewhere? Sure. And that's a place I would certainly want to be buying. ETH down to 1,700. Solana 113. Does Solana fall below 100? Potentially, yeah. E-Rock, yep. Oh, you expected more? Yeah, in crypto, I'm with you. Yeah, same. This is why it's a really interesting time right now in the market. This is, again, I think everybody expects the market to go down. You would infer that people have de-risked. And if this is where we're sitting at with, guys, max FUD, how do you get any more FUDdy than this? How, right? I mean it, like, other than a black swan event and a major, like, institutional player in crypto, going poof, like, it's hard to picture more FUD than this. And it's also then the flip side. It's wild to think of how explosive the rebound could be. Yeah, E-Rock, there you go. Rebound quickly. I think to a degree it's priced in. To a degree. Doesn't mean we're not falling further, and we are almost definitely, but the rebound might be extreme. But yeah, Solana probably under 100. Would be wild, but I think we see it. Ripple under $2 here. Down 15% in the past 7 days. ETH down over 12. Bitcoin, again, compared to the rest, holding up really, really well. Down 6% here. We'll keep our eyes on this. Again, markets open in 5 minutes here. It's going to be bumpy. ETH around 15. There you go. God, I'm tempted to pull up TradingView and just start looking at some levels here. Yeah, I think all of it too, Abdullah, right? I think all of it's again, these times are phenomenal. If you're an active trader, there's free money out there. Very, very easy money. I got to say it, right? Not financial advice, but there's some easy plays out there right now. You want volatility like this. Be greedy when people are fearful. And again, this is max fear. And you just don't feel it. In fact, is there a greed fear index on CoinGecko? CoinMarketCap there is. I'd be curious to see it because, a month or two ago we felt fear and it dropped to, a multi-year low. I don't feel it here now. I don't feel it at all. I don't. Token, good morning, man. Yeah, yep. There are people this really does impact. Make no mistake, if I'm not worried, if some of you guys aren't worried, there are people who are legit worried, and rightfully so, and it's going to be a difficult few weeks, maybe few months actually, it's a lot of people. So I'm not cheering for this. I'm excited about the flip side, the Becker take. I'm excited for the growth that's coming. It's coming. But in this short term, buckle up, and those people, I hope everybody makes it through the other side here. Now, ahead of this, all right, we look at the ETFs, try to get a feel for, these TradFi type investors. And here you are on the day of the tariffs being announced with Bitcoin seeing inflows. We got 218 mil in inflows yesterday. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Honestly, really not me. Today, probably a different story, but 218 mil on a day like yesterday? I don't know. I pay attention to that kind of thing. On the ETH side, not so great. 51.3 mil in outflows there. But maybe some good news for Ethereum. This is actually kind of cool. Ethereum flipped Solana to reclaim the top spot in DEX trading. First time since September. Probably doesn't speak for ETH doing so well. It just speaks to Solana and the casino over there really being dead right now. Really being dead right now. But it's been October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 months. Like 7 months since we've seen ETH on top there. So it just shows how quickly things change here. And, you know, they can change just that quickly in the other direction. But, hey, good for ETH. Now, we have some numbers coming tomorrow, right? There are some things we're waiting on, these catalysts that probably, again, because of the macro environment here, they probably don't matter a ton. It's all tariffs right now. But we added 155,000 jobs in March. This is private U.S. companies. And then tomorrow, a decently big day for more numbers, right? We get average hourly earnings. We also get the non-farm payroll, a non-farm employment change, but also the unemployment rate. And it's a decently big one, unemployment. So tomorrow we'll get some numbers. If there were nothing else going on, that kind of thing can affect sentiment. Right now, tariffs so big, I don't think, good or bad, I don't think it does much. Actually, if it's really bad, if unemployment is down a decent amount, lower than expectations, I should say higher than expectations, you know, maybe these things start compounding. But yeah, we'll check on that tomorrow. I believe tomorrow afternoon. We'll see. Still, guys, good news. I mean, there's so much good news out there. It's probably why it's hard to be super, down on this market. Again, why some of us think that we really have something special ahead of us. It's that crypto adoption here. DTCC. This is great. Unveiled a real-time tokenized collateral platform on their own chain. On their own chain, it's called ApeChain. This is kind of a big deal, guys. Tyler pointing out it's an industry first for DeFi. There you go. Smart contracts with tokenized assets. You have then faster, more efficient collateral across these global markets. This is the big stuff, guys. This is big stuff. This is why I'm so optimistic about what's coming. We have things like that you couldn't even dream a few years back that we'd be at this point already here. But yeah, here we are. Plasticized dude, thank you very much, man. Roth, good morning. Oh, dude, it's Thursday. We got Jay Squiggle coming up in 30 minutes here. And also market open now. If you see anything spicy out there, guys, drop it in the chat. But yeah, expect expect this morning to get kind of wild. I'm assuming that's how it plays out today. Do markets get halted? Is it that severe? We'll see. I don't know. Fidelity. This is pretty big too. Okay, they've rolled out the ability to buy crypto in IRAs. That's pretty damn big. Crypto IRAs linked to brokerage IRA. You can buy Bitcoin, ETH, Litecoin, Ripple, I'm assuming, right? Some of the majors. Dude, people are coming into crypto. I wonder if more people come at a time like this when crypto's down and they actually maybe see some upside here. Ooh, I would like to check gold prices. Barring a fall, Bitcoin crumbles against gold. Spicy. We got a day ahead of us. All right, let's look at the NFT market. Again, we'll come back to tariffs. Excited to chat with Jay Squiggle about art. I'm kind of unplugged from art this week. We've seen some X-copy sales, but other than that, a few Masks of Lucy sales, right? I have a buddy who bought a Mask of Lucy. Shout out Winnie if you maybe are watching. I don't know if Winnie's a viewer, but a buddy got a Mask of Lucy. Yeah, I'm jealous. Here we go. 10.6 million cross-chain sales yesterday. Sellers down. Buyers up. Transactions up. Average sale price down. House profits, 1.2 mil in the negative. By the way, the Bitcoin tracking almost back to live. There was a little upgrade to the Bitcoin tracking, and that's why Taproot Wizards wasn't showing. It is showing now if we look back a few days, right? We had a few days under 10 mil in volume, not anymore, right? Because the Bitcoin sales are factored in. So the 30th, I'm guessing, was what, Friday, Saturday? It was Sunday. That's the only day recently that was under 10 mil. So Taproot Wizards put us back over 10 mil each of the other days. So those sales are factored in. I think it's just yesterday, today it's catching up on, and then we'll see it reflected now. You know what? Actually, hang on. Makes me want to double check weekly because weekly volume fell, right? Week over week. I want to see if we actually... No, still... Okay, still down. Okay. I was hoping that put us up and actually we had an up week, but no. And your top collections move in this market. E-Rock, dude, I want to so bad. Dude, okay. I was a couple minutes late because my son was getting ready to leave for school, and he saw it, and I asked if he's ever tried it. My kid's tried it. He's gonna be 18, in a couple weeks here. It's not like my fucking little like toddler doing smelling salts, but dude, I got the smelling salts. I'm itching to try. I'm fucking terrified too. You guys, any of you guys done smelling salts? I just want to try. I like that. I like the rush, right? I do hot sauce in the coffee, drink the coffee black, and nicotine's the best. Like that's my shit. So, gold down 2.2%, silver down 6.3%. Wow. Yeah, I mean, E-Rock, when I do it, I'll definitely stream it, so you'll see it. Dude, I can't wait though. Okay, let's look at your top NFT collections here. All right, we got Courtyard on top. I want to dive into some of the bigger sales here too. I think some of them are not legit. I actually think Courtyard may be down around like a mil or less. Something I'll just dig a little deeper into separately. There's D-Market. Vesting token lockup plans. Not sure what those are. CryptoPunks DeFi Dungeon still doing numbers. Pudgy Penguins, Guild of Guardian Heroes, Money Laundering, Bored Apes, Space Apes. We'll put Paradise in the top 10. But, I've mentioned it every day. Paradise, I think, is laundering. Base Apes, I think, laundering. This collection, laundering. Vesting token, that's probably legit. Some type of, DeFi kind of positions. But, was that number here? 1, 2, 3. I think three of the top 11 collections are some type of laundering. If I go a little further down, Bored Apes on Blast, I think the same thing. This is probably, again, there's a lot of money laundering happening in NFTs. A lot. Your top sales here, another day of punks. Yeah, punks are quietly, but picking up momentum here. People shopping for, it's actually a pretty cool sign. People shopping for their punk. These are not floor punks. This is people going above the floor, picking out something they like. A lot of people, they're probably picturing this as their forever punk, and they're grabbing them before... Like, put yourself in that position. You're spending above the floor. If you're worried that the floor is coming up and these are going to get out of reach, right? So a lot of people who have money actually, kind of like us, think that things are going to get really nice here. Not too far down the road, so they're getting in ahead of that and grabbing some punks. So there's your top sales. Punk 6489 selling for 60 ETH, 111,000 bucks. 7 punk sales in the top 10. Got some Bored Apes on the move. Tell you what, I'm not hearing a ton of pudgy noise lately. But there's a whole bunch of pudgy sales further down in the top 50. Pudgy Rod went 42. Wow. Yeah, must have been a rare one. Other side's teasing. Keep this in mind, guys. Other side Metaverse goes live in like 2 months. Actually, same month that I think the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. God, I would love to watch a video about that. Any of you gamers, like, that was a pretty cool Nintendo Direct. But anyway, teasing here. Other side poker powered by the ODK. That's the other side development kit. This is people can go in and just build their own games using, the ODK. So we'll get poker there. They've done poker there before. But expect this other side to launch with some experiences already live with it. That should be awesome. I'm really, really excited about that. I will say, I wasn't going to bring this up, but might as well. I still am trying to get more plugged into the ApeChain ecosystem, and it's honestly, it's my guy, Geist, who keeps me the most plugged in. Still probably the biggest, influencer, biggest show on ApeChain. And dude, it's always hyped. It's always packed. There's a ton of people. Oh, Plastocytes tried them. Great boost. They work. All right. Should I be scared? Like, I'm scared. I'm being a little bitch, but you know. Anyway, so here's a tweet about ApeChain. I was kind of surprised to see this, and I don't know the context, but there's definitely a little FUD out there about ApeChain. Tipping point for ApeChain. If you don't step up and say something now, it's going to be too late. Okay, so ApeChain I want doesn't have cabal leaders scamming and pumping and dumping on their listeners. Who is that? Who are they talking about? ApeChain I want doesn't accept and give a platform to racist, bigots, and volatile people. ApeChain I want isn't where the community is hungry for pre-rugs that tell everyone they plan on giving the project away after mint. Huh. You know what? I'll actually end up hitting up Geist about this. Oh, actually. Huh. They're literally talking about my guy Geist. Hang on. This is largely based on James Geist's recent debacle of ending up with mythic NFTs from the Fresh Kicks drop, which they were partners on. Then it came out they were sniping pre-reveal with info they got tricked, that they got out of the team. Huh. That's not great. That's not great. I'll ask him about it. In fact, maybe he comes on here and talks about it. But dude, I wish I could say a lot more about this. If that's the case and you're trading with like insider info, it's not good, right? I think people should just know or expect that that is like nonstop what happens in this space. I tell you, there's very few people who have info that are not trading on it. It's not good. It is what it is. I mean, it very much is what happens, though. And I give Geist the benefit of the doubt. He's a good guy and he fucking grinds. And for those reasons alone, benefit of the doubt, and I allow for people to fuck up. If he had like insider info and traded off it, first off, this guy probably has done that. This guy probably would do it. I don't know. That's probably a shitty thing to say. I don't know. But dude, that community, it's very like old, hypey NFTs. It's like the old NFT vibes. New mint comes out, everybody gets in and flips it and trades, and it's on to the next thing and on to the next thing, and it's fun. I look at ApeChain as a platform, a chain for that kind of fun degen stuff. And the insider trading stuff just happens. It just happens there. Again, it's not great. And if that happened, I will because he grinds his ass, I would give that guy the benefit of the doubt and allow him to fuck up. Right? We'll see. I'm gonna ask him about it. Again, maybe he'll come on and chat. G's on Ape and Hopstart. What is that, Dead? What you saying, Dead? Moving on, we have a new mint coming from Sugartown. This will be on Abstract. You guys probably got an Abstract, or excuse me, a Sugartown drop a few weeks back, right? We got these pods. Maybe that has something to do with this. I assume it does, but you've got cores coming. That's coming to Abstract. We have any details here? Brings you a new edge in Sugartown. Play games, win. Stake to earn, win. Bet with friends, win. These guys grind. I like them a lot, too. And, dude, Kamal, nobody beats him as far as good fucking vibes and always on the timeline. Oh, I got you, Dead. Those are the best NFTs on ApeChain. Dude, we haven't peaked at Magic Eden in forever. Let's look over there. Like check floor prices, dude. I'm so unplugged from this stuff. Yeah, let's run through and peak. Let's do that. Actually, hang on. What stories do I have coming up? Should I just blitz through the rest of our... We don't have a ton of headlines. Yeah, why don't we hit the other headlines and we'll come right back, look at floor prices. Yeah, we don't have a ton. The Say Foundation. This is pretty cool. Say announcing that they have now created or are funding the Say Development Foundation. It's a U.S. nonprofit headquartered in Manhattan. That's pretty fucking cool. Dude, Node Monks, we'll come back to that. Node Monks and Puppets are the biggest winners at Taproot Wizards Mint by a mile. But we have the Say Development Foundation provides the infrastructure required for institutional adoption and for builders to accelerate crypto's future in the U.S. and beyond. Say is pushing, man. Right? They just brought on a pretty major new Say podcast. I think Nifty and fucking Biggie Poppins have the best show on Say by a mile. I think they got one of the best shows out there, period. One of the most entertaining shows out there, period. But there's this crew, what is it called? Like Crypto America, America Crypto, something like that. Huge account. Like this lady's got like 200, 300,000 followers. All of a sudden, now a crypto show on Say. Which, cool for Say. I'd like to see funding put behind Biggie and Nifty. They got the best show out there. And they got that community culture thing for sure. They got that locked down. They're fucking great. Either way, I like Say. I'm rooting for them. I used to have a ton of fun trading on Say. Cool NFTs. You need more than that. And this is more than that. Keep our eyes on Say. Jupiter acquired Solana-based digital collectibles platform Drip Labs. So Jupiter getting into, they need to do this. They're getting into maybe NFTs. They need it. Jupe's in trouble, dude. Jupe is, Pump Fund has really fucked Jupiter up, right? Offering similar services over there. Pump Fund's going to be a monster. Jupiter's heading the other direction. Here you have people that are big Jupe holders now, kind of worried. For the first time, I comment on my holdings on a project. Something I have to do. It's not worth staking Jupe. It's not worth voting. It's not worth buying the dip on Jupe. A holder's not happy over there. Funny enough, you're never happy when price is going down, so I get it. Plasticites, you were over on Sol, huh? Say, huh? Dude, I'll show you my... Well, I won't. I don't have to pull it up. Dude, I'm with you. Right? Like Nifty. Yeah, by the way, do you know Nifty and Biggie? Plasticites? I would assume so, because they were big into Say early, too, and still are, obviously. Dude, I've got fucking... Colony, and I'm trying to think Bump, and Gobs, and like all the big early ones. I still got all of them. I obviously should have flipped out. I'd be up thousands. Something like Bump, right? It was in early. Those got up to a few grand, I think, a piece. They were awesome. Oh, that's cool, man. Okay, so Plasticize, did you and I meet through this show, or did we meet through like Nifty and Biggie and like Say stuff? Those are my boys. I don't know if you, depending on your answer, I don't know if you know, but we used to do a show together. Nifty, Biggie, me, Gifted. Probably like 6 months, 8 months. Daily show was so much fun. I love those guys. You got them all, dude. Say-ins, Bump, yeah. Colony. Dude, it's crazy. Dead. Worth thousands and they're dead. It's a bummer. But I like Say. Anyway, Jupiter. Look, I don't know what fixes them. I don't know what turns them around. This is what happens when an ecosystem is still young. Solana's still young. The meme coin explosion happened. And look, at first there's a few big players, and Jupiter's one of them. It just gets more competitive. And things can be flipped right on their head. I don't know what Jupiter can do to turn anything around with Pump Fun on the upswing. That said, more people coming into crypto does it. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds right, Plasticites. Yeah, dude, we used to do... dude, it was so fucking fun. Here, I'll pull it up. Whoops. Hang on, YouTube. That honestly, one of my favorite things I've done content-wise. NFT Live? Can't remember if it was called that or... Oh, I think over here it was called like the Web 3. Dude, maybe it's gonna be hard to find. Dude, I want to just for there it is, yeah, just for old time's sake. Oh, dude, I miss this shit. And we need a reunion show. I loved it. Hang on. Where's some of the... Sorry, guys. Where are some of the... Has it been almost a year? Dude, at the tail end, I wasn't able to be on the show. Like, there's just so much going on. CryptoSlam side, so I had to pull back from the show. And then it was over. But yeah, I mean, here. Killer fucking show. These guys are great. Damn, look at that beard. Holy shit. Bang, dude. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Gmog. This was it. This was the gang. It was a daily show. It was a ton of freaking fun. These guys are the best. Yeah, dude. It was Christian. It was so good. I would love to get back to kind of like the afternoon show with Henry and Joe, and I want to do that. I would love to do that every day still. I would, and the same with this one. I would love to have like a reunion show on both of them. I've been really lucky getting with good people, you know? Man. Dude, Moonship, dude, I still don't think we've felt the full impact of that. The Jupe Meteora stuff with Libra, with Hayden Davis. Man, I'm with you. Meteora walked away from their official meme. Yes, dude. Yeah, honestly, we moved on so quick from Libra, and I don't think we felt the fallout. I don't think we got to feel how deeply that went. I think it's pretty bad, and I think it'll come out one day. But it's worse than people know, like surface level, way worse than what we see right now. Ripple launched its stablecoin on Kraken. MetaMask had a couple updates here. This one, they integrated Revoke.cash directly in the portfolio view, which is awesome. I need to be more vigilant, with that kind of thing, like revoke permissions. I got this fear I'm going to get fucked one day. Probably everybody's got that in the back of their mind, right? But, yeah, pretty cool. Probably worth going through and giving a good security review of your shit. Go revoke everything. I wish there was a revoke all. There probably is. And I wish it didn't cost at that point. If you've been not done it for years, I mean, it's probably going to cost you a kind of big chunk of ETH. Maybe right now is not a bad time with ETH transactions probably being pretty low. Also, gas. This is interesting. They tweeted it out. And I swear this was announced like months ago. And maybe it was announced and just wasn't live yet. But right now, if you're transacting and you don't have gas, this is on swaps, by the way, you pay for your swap in the token you're swapping for, which is cool. Like, there's been enough times I've gone to do a swap and I'm doing all, right? And it won't go through because you gotta account for gas. Well, it'll do it in the other token. Really cool. Yeah, I think that's a nice quality of life update here. Pretty nice. Sticker Store, I actually think this is live right now. But Sticker Store is, let's see, live on Spaces now, or is that over? Yeah, they're live right now. Guys, I'm trying to keep more plugged into the Telegram sticker NFT ecosystem. There's just there's big mints over there. And if you've not tuned in here lately and heard it, and this is kind of new to you guys, there are Pudgy Penguin NFTs on Telegram. There's stickers. There are Bored Ape NFTs on Telegram. Again, also stickers. They just had Doodles yesterday, maybe day before. So we got some like really, really big Web3 native IP that's launching on Telegram. These sell out in an instant. And I think their marketplace is live, like, if not now, it's like really soon. Maybe this week, maybe next. It's coming really soon. It might be live now. So I'm really curious what the like Pudgy NFT stickers, what those sell for on secondary. Are we talking you're up a few bucks? Are we talking you're up maybe a couple $100? And if we're talking a couple hundred, I mean, I imagine everybody's going to be all over that. Here, why don't we... Dude, I'm too scared to click links, man. Even with like protection, right? Like, what's the app I use? Hang on. Pocket Universe. If you don't use Pocket Universe, you have to. I didn't use it until recently, and it does help a ton. Basically, it'll tell you, like here's a great example. Here's the Sticker Store. It's their official account. I know because I'm following them, right? And I've already vetted them. In the replies, it puts that OP tag when it's that account that's replying. If you don't see the OP tag, it's somebody like spoofing them. So that should make me more confident to click the link, but I still don't. I don't want to. Why don't we listen in real quick?
First, you can do that today already. Just update your Telegram. It works.
Yeah, I think I tried to message Sasha, and it was like, you got to pay 400 stars. Like, God damn, that's the most expensive.
420
say what's
stars.
up.
By the way,
He was on point, bro. 420.
Hey, that's right. Hey, you want to speak to me? Pay me. That's it.
The stars is like their currency they use, I believe. Like when you buy those stickers, you're not putting in your debit card. Well, maybe you are, but you're not actually buying it with like ETH or TON or whatever. You actually buy stickers or stars. That's my understanding, and you spend the stars on the stickers here. I do think it's something we should all be learning about. Feels like there's dude, motherfucking Heidi's. Good to see you, man. How you been? We still need to get a Spaces or a stream going. So many of you guys are fucking awesome and do the content too. But anyway, we'll keep up on that. It is an important ecosystem. I do think people are going to see some decent profits there. Again, if it's a couple bucks, 10, 20 bucks, maybe not worth the time, but we're talking $100, couple hundred. Yeah. And I think those pudgies probably will do that. And I am expecting they have more drops too. So if you missed, probably not the last time that you'll get a chance for those. So heads up there. And yeah, maybe we'll wrap on this. And we're not done, by the way. We're going to NFT floor prices. We'll look at Magic Eden. Gravity, good morning, man. Yeah. How's the market looking? OnlyFans founder Tim Stokely, together with the HBAR Foundation, looking to buy TikTok maybe. And if they buy TikTok, it's turning it into a crypto platform too. We've heard a little bit of that. Couple people looking to buy TikTok and make it a little more crypto-y, which would be cool. What's up to Yank? Good morning, man. Dude, I love you tweeting about your wizard, man. You got a fucking beautiful wizard. Okay, let me get a link to Jay Squiggle so he can pop right in whenever. And then we're looking at some floor prices. In fact, let's put that on the screen. Start with Solana. Anybody here paying attention to Solana NFTs now? You know what? I gotta say, Mad Lads at $6,000 holding up well. I've heard some kind of bearish stuff about Backpack. You love it. Yeah, market accurately reflecting dumb economic policy. Dude, Solana feels like a wasteland. It does. I hate that it is that, but it is that. Dude, I would love a SMB. I would love a Mad Lad. I saw people today pointing out Utes. Utes are down to like 1 point something. There we go. Like 1.6. Yeah, 1.6 Sol. That's wild. Actually, I'm going to be honest. I think Utes are one of my favorite PFPs out there, period. I've never owned one. Never owned one. I've always wanted one. And, now might be the time. This is when, this is why I'm optimistic about NFTs just as a whole. Because down the road, and let's pretend everything plays out how we want it to, and everybody makes a lot of money here. I'm going to go back and collect shit that I never, got a chance to own before. And, if I make enough money, I'll spend the money. But the flip side is something like this continues to lose value, and then it's like getting it free. And I'll go back and collect it again because I always wanted it. I've always wanted a Ute. They're cheap enough now. I don't want to spend this on it, but I could go grab one. And it's like, you guys remember that what was it? NF Doge, that PFP I was rocking for a bit, and I want to go back to that. I love it. But that Doge PFP I had recently, like, I went back and I bought that for $50. Some of these things are going to have awesome value forever because there are people who love these things for a period of time, and they're just part of the culture. They are. And I think Utes will have that. They'll always maintain some kind of floor price because enough people are like me and just think it was cool and never had it, and they want it. And look, if it's $10, I'm buying one. If it's $50, I'm probably buying one, Heidi's. Remember when ETH dumped in NFTs would rally? Dude, we used to have those cycles. Crypto, then NFTs. And now we have, meme coins thrown in the mix, so you cycle between crypto, NFTs, memes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's different now. All right. Where? Let me get Jay Squiggle, his invite. All right, let's get to, because I do want to get to the other floors. Solana, whatevs. Bitcoin. Oh boy, let's see. Oh, okay. Taproot Wizards holding up okay. Not mad about that. 0.158. Dude, I kind of like the rest of the market. I'm impressed with how it's holding up, considering that nobody really wants to spend. These hanging around 0.158, 0.16 is pretty fucking awesome. But you know what? Yeah, I think puppets and NodeMonk showed, I mean, their stability. I think they benefit from Taproot Wizards FUD. It's like, man, if you're looking to get in a good quality thing and that's too expensive, or you're shaking out because of the FUD, puppets are a different thing. Like, that is a great culture play on Bitcoin. NodeMonks too, both of them. Also, you know what? Interesting that puppets have flipped NodeMonks, and I don't remember if they've been higher over the past few weeks or months. I mean, they're basically same price, and rightfully so. Do Quantum Cats come down to that level? They're not far off, but do they always have a separation? I kind of think so. But no, you know what? Going back to how they've always cycled, we'll see times where Nodemonks are top dog and puppets are top dog, and they'll always leapfrog each other. I guess what I really wonder is Taproot Wizards always going to be the top dog now, and that's if we're not counting Bitcoin shrooms and certain parts in like OMB. Bitcoin going strong even though stock's down. Oh wow, okay, ETH fell to 1750. Let's double check over there. I'm really impressed with how crypto's holding up. Like, really impressed. Wow, yeah, 82.3. I'm pretty fucking impressed. I am. Still expecting that we, dump a decent amount too, but who knows? At this point, who knows? I'm really, really impressed. All right, so there's Bitcoin. I'm actually kind of impressed how something like Based Angels is holding up, to be honest. Dude, I would love some more Based Angels. But I saw Kook with a tweet. Kook doesn't think Ordinals are going to do a big old thing again. I couldn't disagree more. I still think that we didn't really see them run. I mean, that's a stupid thing to say when we got to almost 1 Bitcoin for a node monk, but I don't think that was it. That was not an NFT bull market. It's a different game when we get a real, true NFT bull market with some good established collections at that point. Yeah, Kook has great takes. I'm surprised about that take from him. Like it. Good take, man. I like it. On the ETH side, and we got to peek at Abstract. Those Kira NFTs are cooking, dude. I did sell my Kira. I kind of regret it, actually. Punk's 42 ETH. Love it. Doodles are going to have a hard time selling that AI platform. I don't think people like it. Azuki TCG pre-orders. I think that's closed. I didn't get one. I am regretting that already. I wanted that. Man, it's just wild seeing the prices here. Lil Pudgy's holding up decently here, honestly. Seeing him hold above 1 is cool. All right, let's look at ApeChain. How steady Teddy's? 103 Bera. Looking good. $633 floor. Remember, they minted at $88. I mean, that's pretty respectable. I'm holding mine. I don't have any plans to sell. And people are loving this thing they did, the pre-reveal art. I think that needs to be a staple of this space. Dude, mice, it's pretty impressive. And you know what? I think this other belief I have. A lot of people here have is that if Bitcoin dumps hard, right? If we ever touch the 60s or maybe 50s, I don't see really a scenario where it stays there long, unless there's something catastrophic to crypto, right? But sure, we can get to that level. Could. Do we stay there? That's what I can't picture. There's too many buyers now. There's too many buyers who are now planning for the long term. I don't see us living at any kind of level like that for long at all. So, different time. Yeah, here we go. Over on Abstract. Guys, it's been really decent over there. Meme coins apparently are doing pretty well, but here's the Clara NFTs. I sold mine 0.24. Well, right now, floor's 0.45. Staking is done, as in it's locked. You can't go stake now. But I think people are learning here that even if you have the NFT, you still get token. You still get token at TGE. Staking wasn't a requirement to get token. It was just a requirement to get access to whitelists and some other perks, right? So, oh, actually, they got an announcement. Let's peek. Now, our friend Katz, Hang on, let's pull this up. Kindred. So Katz did a little sleuthing on chain, and he saw something. He's asking questions about in the Discord, and I like it. I like trying to get some transparency, but it looks like the team, they minted like 20% of the collection. They didn't disclose this. I don't think it's a problem, by the way, but they minted 20% of the collection. And then they staked out of that 20%, which is 200 of these. Out of the 20%, 150 they staked. They have 50. They've got 50 that are just chilling there. And maybe they're for giveaways, and maybe they're to sell. But they didn't disclose it. And as of right now, he's having trouble getting a good answer of why. But yeah, interesting. So can AI be your friend? Okay, so just a good chat here about, what they're building here with. Did Jack get... Hang on, I want to double check. Jack here. Oh, we got J Squiggle queued up, by the way. Okay, real quick. Jack lost his Taproot Wizard. I want to see if he got it back. Oh, guys, I think Jack got it back because he's PFP'd it now. Okay, I wonder if somebody went and bought him one and returned it. But basically, he got scammed. Social engineering. He did a trust trade, and he got scammed. I hope he got it back. All right, J Squiggles here. Boom. Good morning, man.
GM, man. How are you doing?
Oh, dude, I am well. How about you?
Despite everything that's going on in the market, I'm doing pretty exceptional.
Yeah. What do you make of this stuff, dude? It's I don't know who has a good take on this because I don't know if anybody really knows what we should be expecting.
Yeah, I think the short answer is I don't think anybody does know. But, I've been listening to a lot of content, a lot of different perspectives, people for, people against. But I still am a believer that this ends up being some sort of, I'll call it liquidity injection moment. I don't know. It feels like whether it's an interest rate reduction, whether it's, I look at some of the people on that tariff list, and I just got to imagine this is being used as a negotiation bait. I look at somebody like, because I used to be in the import business, places like when Trump put in his original tariffs, they transitioned from like China, and production literally transitioned to like Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, those types of places. Excuse me. And now, they're getting hit with these 40, 50% tariffs. And I got to imagine that's pretty detrimental to the overall economy if that were to happen. So I got to imagine it's just, I'll call it trade negotiations, if that makes any sense.
It's like a game of chicken.
I think it's the my favorite word is and. And by the way, I got the little dude here today because my wife had to go to a doctor's appointment. For those who, I know but for those who are listening and maybe not familiar, we're like T-minus a month or so out from the addition of a third. So lots of doctor stuff, and it just happened to be today. But
yeah. How's she feeling, by the way? Is she good? It's harder. It's harder as it goes.
She's had morning sickness the entire time, which has just been like absolutely unfortunate. But that's a whole nother issue, I guess. I think my favorite. I like to say my favorite words, and I think that like it is tactics, and I think that there's people who are just like, or there's crews who are not going to play ball. And then the biggest thing for me is I think that this starts to weed out those who are like truly wanting to be allies and supporters of the U.S. and those who maybe want to play games.
I wonder, like, again, no, it's hard to predict when anything. Okay, so first off, I think I'm with you as far as how I'm feeling about this and the building that's coming. Becker had a take we looked at earlier too. There's a lot of people who are very, very optimistic here in the not super long term, by the way. But I don't know what we can use to help gauge like what long term even is in short term, and like just anything. I have no idea, and I've never been in a time like this where I have no clue.
The thing for me is like the rules of engagement constantly change, right? Like everybody's like 4-year cycle, this and that, and then guess what happens? Things change, right? Or it's not being, I'll call it, as predictable. And I think that that's the maturation of markets, in my opinion, right? Like things change, you have to adjust. Your system that once worked doesn't. Um, so I think that's going to be part of the game. But when, I look back as like, this is my third or fourth cycle, and it's, when I get as emotionally, I don't want to call it charged because I'm not emotionally charged, but like when I found myself having like some sort of like emotional reaction to like an event, I'm like, I try to take note of it. Excuse me, for better or for worse, because there's so many times where I'm like, Pico, bull market, you're like, this is going higher. I remember like in 2017 when Bitcoin was at 20 grand. They I remember being like, oh, this is going to 100 this time around. And it's like, oh my god, like just like to go up 10, 20x and then like think it's still gonna go up even more was just like max euphoria, right?
Mhm.
And then similarly, like I look at it now and it's like, anyways, like when I'm starting to be like, man, like what is like the event that's going to get us out of this, and there's kind of like this feeling of like, nothing's on the foreseeable horizon. Like, what is it going to be? What is it going to, like, what's going to save our bags? That's when I start to be like, oh yeah, like something will. We're just not smart enough to know, or we're not on part of the in crowd to know what it will be. But
Yep.
I always, where am I going with this? I always try to default back to data, and I think one of the sources I like really enjoyed over the past probably 5 years is Raoul Paul and Real Vision. His one of his like analyst Julian Biddle is like really
He's great.
amazing with the data, and dude, he's awesome, right? And he's been tracking and charting kind of like called Trump V1 and Trump V2 from like global GDP and global liquidity, and it's been like really eerily similar, and like we're kind of at that max dip moment before the next rocket launch up.
Yeah, I'm seeing if I can find his takes because he's been very bullish. Like it's that cautious optimism,
Well,
but to your point with data, he's got charts and he makes a very compelling case.
and I think it comes down to perspective, right? Meaning like meaning Real Vision are a macro platform. They're not looking to trade
Dad, you put my hood on.
um, too much. They're not getting in and out. They want to catch like the big chunks of the big moves and kind of like ignore the noise.
Why?
And that's kind of where I'm like where I've like defaulted to is like catching these major trends. That way you're not watching the moment, like the big moments. You want to get in when there's relatively high risk reward. You get out when like that goes away. Especially in the crypto, like if you can catch, I would tell people if you can catch like 60% of an overall macro move, like you do that 2 or 3 times, like that's life changing money, right? Like you don't have to be in it every single day. I've tried to do the every single day thing, and what I realize is I really like the macro. So I don't know. I know it's not necessarily art talk, but when sentiment is a little bit all over the place, to me, I kind of default to, put your, package your emotions up, put them in the background. But like, what are the facts saying at this time, right?
Yeah, dude. By the way, we cover everything. Like everything's on topic here. So, yeah, I got
I know you
Julian
cover
Biddle.
everything, but like, not that like everybody's like lining up to hear about art talk, but you know, it's I think it's important to put it into context because conversely, like, I'm talking to a couple people, like the art market in particular is just getting brutalized. You know, I do my valuations for my fund every quarter, and unless you own like X copy or punks, you know, a lot of the stuff is has taken a real hit. And I just think that there's like, I'm looking around just thinking like there's a lot more upside potential in art at this point than there is downside risk. And I'm even seeing it with like artist sentiment, collector sentiment. I mean, I had one collector that I'm like really close with, like asked me about buying a particular piece. And he's like, am I trying to catch a falling knife, or am I like the only dope left in the room buying this type of art? And I said, I think it ages well. I think it does well on a long enough timeline. I'm just taking the chicken shit answer and not telling you what the long enough timeline is. I can't tell you if it's 10 months or 10 years, right?
I prefer that, dude. I really do. Again, it's something we say all the time here. Nobody knows, and the people who give these like really definitive like these predictions, like they don't know. I just got to the point where I'm tired of that. There's, you know, too many people who, you know, they maybe like just come across as they're an expert, or they speak about themselves that way, and it's usually it's the price predictions and time frames that usually are the thing that turns me off. One or the other is cool. No, I don't think that's the
here's
top kind of answer.
And because I think it's also the truth, right? Like what I've found out for me, it's funny you bring up time and targets.
I'm just a heads up. I'm half losing you, but which is totally fine. Like, just I'll kind of pause and just wait till I hear you back. I think you're back now.
No, it's fine. I know the limits of my Wi-Fi now because I'm in my garage watching my kids scoot around the driveway. So
nice.
I just followed them out and found the limits of my Wi-Fi. But no, what I was saying is I like your reference to time and targets, because I think I figured out like I'm directionally correct, but the timing I'm usually a little bit early because I'm like max bullish and think things are going to get sooner than they get to where I believe they're going to sooner than I thought, right? Like when I bought Bitcoin originally, I really had the sentiment that I was going to get to 100 grand. Just took a couple more cycles than I originally thought, right?
Yep.
And it's the same thing with the art. I made reference on this channel. I think that digital art is the equivalent of Bitcoin in 2013 right now. You know, it seems so obvious to some of us, but it will just take time for the masses to really pick it up. But you know, I make that. So I'm a firm believer of like looking at facts, looking at like making your own opinions on it. But I do like data more than anything. Hold on one second. My kid's being a tyrant. I have to watch The Wild Child. I love him to death, but when he scooters, he has zero regard for his own personal safety. It's pretty funny, which makes me smile. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, if you get hurt, your mother's gonna kill me.
Yep. Dude.
Which I'm all about, like pushing the boundaries of what you're comfortable with. But
yeah. No, she can't come home to half a kid. I get it.
Yeah. Or at least a kid with a broken nose, or busted, you know, missing your front teeth. At least they're kids' teeth, right?
Yep.
But all joking aside, you know, a data point for me is there's a really great collector named Von Mises, and I think he said this. I know he sold it to me, but I think he said it publicly, so I'll state it. But he bought. I mean, if you look at his collection, it's absolutely insane. You know, lots of squiggles, you know, a great amount of X copy punks. Like he just seems to have like a knack for being early and being, you know, or like he has an eye for art that's way like when you look at like this like distribution of like the mean bell curve, like he's like standards of deviation like out in front of other collectors. I mean, it's insane to look at his collection. I mean, he's the owner of like one of 10 X copy last selfies. And anyways, I admire his collection. But he was talking about how when he was buying punks, you know, he was like, man, am I the dope? Just like, you know, am I the dope who was buying, you know, being the liquidity, exit liquidity for people? Or am I really onto something? And he talked about how he was like, he bought a zombie and then he was looking at buying an ape. And he's just like, I can't. Like, this is silly. I've been buying all these punks. Like, I must be exit liquidity. And it's like one of his, when I interviewed, it was the interview I did with him. When I interviewed him, it was like one of his biggest regrets is that he didn't just follow his gut, you know, because he does like the apes, as you're aware, are just like astronomically high, multiple millions at this point. And I think that's kind of like where, you know, when this collector was asking me, you know, is he the exit liquidity for other people? And we're talking about, you know, he's buying Memories of Chilin, you know, Anti-Cyclones by Mapon, like things that I believe are really going to age extremely well. And I'm just like, dude, I don't think so, right? Like, you're providing liquidity to somebody, but you're also amassing this like really brilliant collection.
So it's interesting. Well, actually, a couple things. If there's any big, like, kind of noteworthy art sales this week, I'd love to hear about them. I have a buddy who picked up a cool piece this week, which is a Mask of Lucy. Fucking awesome.
Nice.
Oh, dude,
did he catch the? No. You're on my. And even then, it's not like I haven't dropped a couple 4-letter words.
There you go. Okay. But yeah, my buddy Winnie got a Mask of Lucy. I saw it on the timeline. Real jealous.
Was he the one who caught the Wreath bid in the 4s?
Ooh, I don't know about that. Maybe. Ooh, if he did, wow.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting dynamic because I started noticing that player editions, which are one of 256, albeit they're all the same aesthetically, started getting weathed. You know, somebody, you know, probably bought them so they could get a mask, but they were starting to weath down into the 5s and then the 4s, which I thought was really peculiar, that the player editions were going into the 4s.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it was almost like a leading indicator of the mask. So when I saw the like 4 something sale of the mask, I was like, oh, interesting.
I don't know if you can see on the screen. It's this one here. If that's the one.
I think that was the one that went for 4. Let me see if let me go look it up. I'm going off mobile, so this is multitasking to its finest.
Yep.
Maybe it was a couple days ago though, huh?
Yeah, like 3-4 days. Yeah, 3 or 4 days ago.
I'm trying to go to a 24 or 7-day chart, but it's way easier on desktop. I think that was one that was in the 4s. It was a pretty good buy.
Dude, wild. I could that's steal. Kind of a steal.
Well, I think that like as of today, it's a steal. I'm hoping to have like a retracement back into the 2s, even if it's just touching it. Maybe low 3s. I think that like especially now you're in this like max pain moment where you could see it.
How are those looking, by the way? The Max Pains, the X copies. I'm still seeing the X copy sales bot pretty regularly. In fact, I'm going to pull it up.
I think X is one of the few artists this cycle that has proven to be somewhat, you know, that and punks to some degree, to have been like slightly, I'll call it resilient to some degree. Max Pain to a lesser degree, but it's really interesting to me how X is being collected right now.
Yeah, there's a big one. 35 ETH a few days ago. Toxic Beast. That's the stuff I'm starting to see a little more regularly. Is that range?
Well,
20, 30-ish.
That Toxic Beast is really interesting to me because it's an addition of 1 of 8. So you see like an addition of 10. Now, albeit this is a little bit of apples and oranges, but something like Last Selfie or Mortal are selling for like $1 million, and it's an edition of 10. Now, those are the exceptional editions, right? But that's a huge price disparity of $1 million USD, which call it 250 to 350. I know it's like more like 500 ETH right now, but versus 35 for an edition of 8. So I find it really, really interesting about like where the money gets concentrated. The Mortal, for example, there's none available except for like somebody kind of posted one on a ancillary market for 1.25 million, and that's an edition of 10.
Jeez.
So yeah, I think that there's a really interesting dynamic with the X's art, and I think if you're astute enough, there's an opportunity to like get some. Now, 35 ETH is not for the faint of heart, right? Like not all of us are sitting on 35 ETH liquid right now, but I do think that there's a really interesting dynamic where you're able to, potentially, these X copy collectors are going like really deep into collections. And I don't know what secret spreadsheet Eli has, but Eli's been like placing most of these X copy editions, and it's been really fun to see. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
No, I was off wandering, trying to find a couple things. Like I bookmarked these in my head the other day, and I meant to like dig into them. So I got to ask you some things I saw at least on CryptoSlam that they might not be sales, but they came through as sales. So I got to see if you know anything about them. If you can see, there's one on the screen here. I think this is a Botto.
I believe it is too.
Okay. And then sometimes things get categorized as a sale when it's really a loan. I don't know with this one here. But $84,000, we'll call it a sale. So pretty good one. But then there were two things that came across, and these ones I'm totally unsure about. Like just because of the way we index these and we don't get the art that comes through. Something unknown origin, 77 grand. I'm assuming an X copy. In fact, it might have been the 35-ish or so ETH piece. Trying to think if that adds up.
Yeah, I think that was probably my guess is that's the edition that came through for that 35 ETH.
Okay. And then one other, a 30 ETH, and I'm just going to assume it's another X copy. Because I think that's the only thing in this market that's moving around that price.
I would go venture a guess to say you're correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that works. What's going on with you and 8nap and your releases and one you're in the midst of right now?
So right now we're
Kids got them.
Inclination to it. It's an amazing project with like really cool geometry. One of the things that I like about Rich is he takes aerial photography and takes these drone photos and turns it into what I would call like takes like the simple and makes it into like beautiful. Personally, I really enjoy these pictures of the tennis courts. He's not only captured them like a traditional tennis court, but then he's gotten different angular stuff. He's spent, with these photographers, I found that they do a lot of research, whether it's Google Maps or otherwise, to find sites. So there's like a ton of work that is put into place in order to accomplish what they're going after. So why do I mention all that? Like you think about tennis court's a tennis court. I just think of a tennis court as a green tennis court. But then he was able to like discover and capture some like really colorful pieces. Yeah, like you have them up on screen there. Like there's one that's like you have up on screen, it's blue with green, but then there's like this purple and gray, and then there's like orange and red. Like there's just it's a really cool collection to peruse through. So on his website, CA as in California, from the sky. Yeah, you see those on screen. Like look at that blue and red. I mean, they just go like beautifully together. The CA from the sky, like the art of tennis is up there. If you're interested, hit me up. We have options now for prints and no prints, obviously with the print being slightly more expensive. And then, actually May's going to be pretty crazy. I'm trying to apparently jam a bunch of stuff in before the baby comes.
Smart.
Well, May 6th, it's for different reasons, but and then once the baby's here and I'm on the show afterwards, probably in like June or July, I'm announce some like a different approach to 8NAP, because I think emotionally I'm a little bit I'm ideating around it now. It's probably a very raw thought, but May 6th is going to be Corey Haber. This project is exceptional, for lack of better terms. He was able to take AI and calling AI prompted from API sources that are proprietary to him and feed it into a generative algorithm. Really, really dope stuff. Really fun. So that one's coming up May 6th. And then yesterday I just locked down, probably later in May will be Patrick Amadon, and he's going to do an edition series. So it's a lot of art, so to speak, in a short amount of time. But Patrick's, I'm gonna get the art preview later in the week. But just conceptually, it's like we've been working on this idea, and I don't want to give it away quite yet. But it's actually pretty dope. It involves like encrypting something special and embedding it into like the actual NFTs. And for those who don't know, Patrick's like incredibly, incredibly gifted when it comes to like coding and stuff. So he's using like military grade encryption and some other stuff
Oh,
that's
no
like just
shit. He's a
absolutely
wild
bizarre.
artist. Like he's just like, yeah, we've talked before. Some of the guys are just different. They're just different. He's got, man, what's the best way to even put it? He's like this tech punk rock
Yeah,
artist.
but like with a DGen like DGAF vibe. I mean, he legit. He's like it's so the way I got to know Patrick, if you can allow me like a couple more, like 30 seconds to expand upon this, but I found one of his editions on Tezos that really resonated with me, and then found out he was an LA based artist. I ran before 8NAP, I just randomly DM'd him and was like, yo, I'm gonna be in LA this date. Like, would you want to meet up for dinner? Craziest thing, he's like, sure. Brings his girlfriend. We have a wonderful time, just talking. And we just started to develop a friendship. And the more I got to know about him, I was like, oh my God. Like he's low key, I think one of the artists that could be somebody who's like very exceptional when it comes to everything, because he just thinks in a different stratosphere than most people, and it's multi-dimensional. He's approaching stuff from angles that like it's been really eye-opening for me, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work with him. So he's, for those who aren't familiar, he's a glitch artist. In theory, he started as a graffiti artist. I think he's public about this. Like he grew up in Silicon Valley, so you can imagine he around tech, and you know he had access to like programming and like advanced tech at an early age, and just like leaned into it. But then has this like degen culture of like the graffiti art, and like his glitch art comes out to be a little bit of both. But what I like is he's not just I'm using finger quotes, just a glitch artist. Like he's you know, he did this thing where he's like, you know, he did something about, I think it was like the Hong Kong, you know, he was showcased in some, you know, Chinese Sotheby's auction, I believe, in embedded something about like the Hong Kong protests.
Oh
And is
wow.
now has like a lifetime ban from China.
Okay,
Like,
so I've seen mention of that. I didn't know the story about it. That's
yeah.
awesome.
And then he did like he had this big and then he had like he was the first artist in residence with LG. He got was on like Times Square, and again, and he was on like a million LG TVs, and nobody noticed it. But like he embedded this like WikiLeaks reference to like the Hamas genocide.
Oh
Again,
wow.
I don't care where you stand on politics. You know, it's not that's not what I'm commenting on. It's more to say like he's bringing awareness, and he's like courageous to be able to like go out and do that. Like again, no matter what side of the fence you stand on, like just to do that is like a very courageous act, in my
Yep.
opinion. Right. So he's just been really fun. He's played around with like multi-chain. His like disobedience was like released on I think something like
Dude,
six
yes,
chains.
dude. I got one of those on Bitcoin because I see what you see. I see he's different. You get even a deeper perspective. Different. He's different.
Yeah,
But dude, he launched on Bitcoin, on
it
Base,
was
on ETH, maybe
yep
on Solana.
Solana for
It's
sure. Solana.
crazy.
Yeah,
There was another chain in there too, and I'm trying to think of what it was. Oh, Arbitrum,
I would say it's
and
Arbitrum.
yeah, and there might be
So
you're
it,
right. There might be another Polygon, I think too.
I think it's just something that ages like a fine wine, honestly. Like it's like
Hmm.
at first you're like, oh, this is kind of cool, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, this could be dynamic.
Yeah.
And like with the project we're working on, it's like it's just it's an incredible layer of dynamic approach to what it's intended to be. And it's like it's funny when you talk to I won't give it away, but like he's like it really stems from like this irritation, and he's been working with I don't know how much I can say, but like high level people at certain places like within the world, and like has like a frustration with him. So he's like, I'm gonna make art around like something as a statement to show like my dissatisfaction towards this thing. And it's just like I have to like giggle. I'm like, holy cow, like this is incredible. Like this is how it's almost how he like he has like a weekend out where he's like frustrated or wants to kick the dog. Instead of kicking the dog, he like goes and like tags a public building, right? I'm not saying he would do that, but like this is kind of like his like subtle middle finger to the world. So it's fun to be a part of it. And I think that as you dig deeper into his art, you see that it's not just glitch art. It's a very well thought out, well intentioned, dynamic approach to the space, which is actually very, very refreshing.
Dude, so cool. Remind me again the date for this collection or when you're announcing.
So it will be probably late May. He wanted to do it probably around like the 20th or 26th, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Whatever
All
the
right.
Tuesday ends up being.
Well, I will be following that, dude, super closely. You got a lot of cool shit going on, man. Jeez.
Yeah, and there's some other stuff that I'm working on that's really intriguing. So looking to like really have a powerful 2026, which I know sounds so far away right
No,
now,
no,
but
it's right now.
well, for a lot of artists, one of the missions of 8 and Art was to give artists sufficient time. I mean, Corey Haber made a commitment back in, probably a year and a half ago to release this project. So same with Patrick Amadon. Like, my belief is like great art, great concepts take time. So I've got a great 2025 that's public. It's all lined up, and then really working on the 2026 lineup and excited for it, man. I think that art is one of those things. And again, Raoul Paul, he mentioned this, and this is kind of a closing thought, at least for Bullish. Almost stick my Bullish flag in the art hill right here. But like he talked again, I had the pleasure of interviewing him, and he mentioned if you believe that this is going to be $100 trillion sector, which not this cycle but next cycle it could be. When there is newfound wealth historically, and go listen to the Squiggle Dell podcast with Jay Squiggle and Raoul Paul. I think it's season 2, episode 2 or something like that. He basically says, and he goes through this historically. What do the newfound wealthy do? They buy luxury real estate and luxury art. They did it. That's why, like you saw Warhol. That's why you saw Damien Hirst. There's going to be these culturally significant icons that are going to have true breakaway relevance. And I believe that we are in the midst of that. And when people find digital wealth through crypto and other means, they will want to secure some of their digital grails, albeit the obvious ones are punks, Xcopy, and autoglyphs to me. And then there's some ancillary stuff. Really great thread on 6529 about the pyramid of grails and what that means. But that's a topic for another time, because you're so gracious to let me go over 6 minutes, even though I
Oh,
said
dude,
2
I love
minutes.
it. I freaking love it. Well, appreciate all of that and the thoughts and the wisdom. And by the way, anybody Raoul Pal, I love, and I value his takes and analysis of the market. He's live this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern time, talking about tariffs. This is something I'm definitely want to, I'm not missing that. I'm going to be checking that out. We'll review it tomorrow, but you guys might want to tune into it live as well. So check him out. Definitely make sure you guys are following Jared. It's Jared_pause. That's on X. Also, his platform, 8nap_art. Give that a follow as well, guys. And then Jared will be back next Thursday. And we got him for just a little bit till he's off for a while. So we'll value that time. Follow us at CryptoSlam.io on X. You guys know, SlamAI_XYZ. And then the Swarm_AI. Just follow them on all of them. And then I will be live again today, 2 p.m. Eastern time on the Swarm. We'll hit all this stuff happening in AI. Got a lot to catch up on, so look forward to seeing you guys there. Jared, thank you again, man. Appreciate having you on.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for letting me go in every direction that kind of pops in there.
Absolutely. Dude, good luck with the kiddos this morning. I'll catch you soon.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yep. Peace, guys.